What's up, guys? It is Friday, January 31st, 2024. And as you can see here, we're at the Bitcoin block height of 881,695. TikTok next block. And as you can see, the fees are very, very low. So if you're trying to consolidate some UTXOs or move around some Bitcoin, today is a good day to do that. But today I'm going to do a different kind of video. I'm going to react to my favorite political commentator, and that's Greg Foreman from the Black conservative perspective. This guy, he works hard, man. He makes about 4 or 5 videos a day. He's obviously a conservative. He's a young guy, too. He's like 30, 31. And he's very, very smart and a wealth of knowledge when it comes to politics and stuff like that. But he did a video yesterday, and I was drinking something. I almost spit my drink out when I saw him do this. And I'm going to react to the whole entire clip so you can see it in full. But basically, this is a twofold video. This is something about adoption of Bitcoin, but also a life lesson for anybody, not just black people, because he's going to talk about woke Mayor Brandon Johnson, but also talking about taking personal responsibility and not being a victim. And you'll see what he says, but not being a person that waits for somebody else to do something for you. So let's go ahead and watch this video. And without further ado, let's take a look at it.
Their responsibility. That's the responsibility of the federal government.
Boy. So we got to talk about woke Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson once again, okay? And I know that Brandon Johnson upset. He's mad because he doesn't want anybody that's not from Chicago talking about Chicago. But just because he said that, I'm going to keep talking about Chicago. I'm going to continue to cover Chicago and the disaster that is happening in that city under his watch, okay? As his approval rating continues to decline, okay? It's basically the lowest in history, right? This guy is the worst mayor in Chicago history. So with that being said, Mr. Brandon Johnson is facing a federal investigation by the House Republicans when it comes to Chicago and their sanctuary city status. The fact is that these sanctuary cities are not helping the feds. In fact, they're going out of their way to try to stop the feds from deporting illegal immigrants who are criminals, violent criminals, okay? And Republicans are saying, hey, you know what? You need to testify before Congress and tell the American people on a national stage, why is it that you think it's a good idea to not help federal law enforcement deport violent illegal immigrants? And Brandon Johnson was confronted by a reporter on whether or not he is going to testify, whether or not he would come if there is a congressional subpoena. And he essentially loses his mind and starts boohoo, whining and crying about reparations and talking about, I don't know, slavery and racism, right? Basically deflecting. This is hilarious. This guy is really losing it. So without further ado, let's get into it.
If I can just follow up.
Oh, yes,
I was just trying to clarify something. Yesterday, your corporation counsel was stepping in to address the issue about whether you'd go to Washington. When I reached out to the committee, I was told that the chairman of this committee, who wants you to testify about Sanctuary City, expects you to be there, and if not, they will use whatever means they have available, including subpoena power, to require you, to compel you to be there. Will you go voluntarily, or will they have to be forced to compel you?
When you see this guy doing this, like he's pondering and he's going to say something, you think he's going to say something groundbreaking. He's thinking like, how do I answer this question? You're going to be very disappointed if you think you're going to get something profound. I'll tell you that.
I wish the next time you talk to the committee chair, ask him if he would be interested in doing a hearing on how reparations can transform people's lives. Just ask him, but here's what I'm getting at. This oversight committee, of all the things that they want to have sight over, they should look at the White House right now. That White House is being ran in one of the most raggedy forms of government that I've ever seen. If anybody is questioning whether or not what our country would look like had the Confederacy won, there should be no question now.
Wow, incredible stuff. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't make this stuff up. What a deflection. First and foremost, this man is talking about how the House should have a hearing on reparations, something that is not relevant to the question that was asked at all. But unlike having a hearing on why is it that you're allowing illegal immigrant criminals to have asylum in your city, okay, to hide from law enforcement, talking about reparations is a waste of time, right? If Congress had a hearing on reparations, it would be a waste of time because there's zero chance that a Republican presidency, a Republican House, a Republican Congress would ever pass reparations. So it's a waste of time. And there's also a zero chance that a Democrat administration after the Republicans will pass reparations. It's not happening at the national level. It's not happening at the state level. And yes, I already know the race hustlers will boo-hoo, whine, and cry. The Amazing Bottom and all the others, they'll be like, the black conservatives said that reparations is a waste of time.
First of all, if you don't know what a race hustler is, it's a black person, usually black people, that basically hustle race. All they do is talk about racism and you're a victim. Meanwhile, they're millionaires and stuff like that. And they're just trying to keep black people down and sell them a narrative on how you basically the white man's the enemy and you're never going to make it here in America because of your skin color and all this other stuff. So again, I've said this before on my channel. Two people I can't stand as a black race hustler and a white liberal. I just can't stand them, man.
He don't read any history books. He don't know his history. Well, listen, here's the thing. No, I don't sit around all day and read about reparations and why black people are victims, okay? Because that doesn't help me. That's not going to put a dime in my pocket because unlike a lot of these people, I'm not out here selling black people a pipe dream that they're going to get this magical multi-million-dollar check. That's never going to happen. Instead, I spend my time, I don't know, reading about things that will help me like money, right? You know, things that actually will help me,
Boom. Take a look at that, guys. That's the Bitcoin standard. Now, this is when I spit my drink out almost when I watched this. Now, let me give you a little background on Greg real quick. I have never heard Greg talk about Bitcoin. I've heard him say it, here and there, but actually say it like he's doing now, showing the book and what he's going to say in a little bit. But he used to, and Greg, you can correct me if I'm wrong if you watch this video. He used to have a gold company that he used to have on his channel. He used to do commercials about the gold coins and silver and stuff like that. He was working with a company that was a sponsor of his video, and I haven't seen that commercial in a long time. And for those of you that don't know, I used to be into gold and silver, and I sold all my gold and silver for Bitcoin. And that right there, that book he has right there, that's the Bitcoin Bible. And I know Greg is a very, very smart person, and I don't know exactly where he is in his learning curve. I had a feeling that when I watched his, stuff about talking about gold and everything else, I'm like, okay, if he does know about Bitcoin, he hasn't studied as much. Okay. But again, if you get over 100 hours up to 1,000 hours of studying, let's just say you're not going to be having a lot of gold and stocks and stuff like that if you really, really understand what Bitcoin is. But yeah, this is big for me, man. This guy right here has almost 1 million subscribers. And for him to show this Bitcoin standard book, that's a big deal, man.
Reading about things that will help me like money, right? Things that actually will help me, build wealth and I don't know, get my own reparations, right? Not have to beg the government and wait for the government to give me this magical check that I'm never going to get. And see, that's the thing. Unlike these race hustlers, I'm actually going to give the people who are waiting for that reparations check, let me actually give you some life advice, not investment advice, but life advice. You're probably better off instead of spending your time listening to these race hustlers, boo-hoo, whine, and cry about the white man and black conservatives, right? You're better off reading a book about how to budget. You're better off gaining a skill to increase your income. Learn how to invest, reading about the stock market, okay? The S&P 500, the Magnificent Seven stocks, real estate, Bitcoin, which is honestly probably your best shot at reparations, to be honest with you.
Boom. Wow. Bitcoin's your best shot at reparations. Wow. Now, obviously, before that, he was talking about the Magnificent Seven and real estate and stuff like that. So, again, you can clearly see that, as us as Bitcoiners, we know that, a lot of us maxis don't have any of that stuff. I used to have that stuff too, Greg. So, I don't know where you're at in your learning curve, but you're exactly right about Bitcoin being a almost a guarantee for reparations. That's crazy for him to say that. Let's hear that again. Wow.
Okay, the S&P 500, the Magnificent Seven stocks, real estate, Bitcoin, which is honestly probably your best shot at reparations, to be honest with you, should definitely read about that. You're much better off, instead of listening to these race hustlers boo-hoo whine and cry about the white man and black conservatives, instead of listening to them boo-hoo whine and cry about that all day, something that doesn't put money in your pockets, but it puts money in their pockets though, right? They're making money off that. Stop reading about reparations and read about the time value of money. Read about compound interest. That is the most powerful force in the universe. If you learn about these things, if you learn about how money works, that is going to get you a lot further to get those reparations than sitting around boo-hoo-wide and crying about the government, how the government haven't given you that check yet, right? For something that you never went through. This is real talk, right? This is real talk. Something that everybody can do that will help you get ahead. But see, the race hustlers, they will never tell you these things. They'll never actually tell you things that will benefit you financially and help you get ahead. They want you kicking and screaming and crying and worried about the white man and black conservatives more so than doing what you can do in your own life to build wealth, to go get your own reparations, okay? So I just want to say that because what Brandon Johnson is suggesting, again, is a waste of time, and a lot of people will be mad about it, but it's the honest to God truth.
The truth will set you free, man. And he's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Make sure you subscribe to Greg, man, from Black Conservative Perspective. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. Wow, man. Wow. And again, there's two lessons there. Obviously, we know about Bitcoin and stuff like that, but also just don't be a victim, man. Don't be a victim of your circumstances. Doesn't matter if you're black or white or whatever. And take personal responsibility for yourself. Learn, things about money and health and all that other stuff. And don't let somebody tell you can't do something because of your skin color or your gender or where you come from and stuff like that. But yeah, that was great, man. When I saw that yesterday, I was gonna do a video about that yesterday. But if you guys watch Greg, do me a favor. If you guys watch Greg, send this to him because I want to do a collab with him. I really like that guy, man. He's real smart, and I want to see where he's at with his Bitcoin knowledge. I'd like to interview him about where he's at with Bitcoin. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And again, guys, listen, he said it. This right here will get you reparations. You know what I mean? And Greg, I know that, you're talking about the Magnificent Seven and, compound interest and, real estate and stuff like that. But I don't have any of that stuff anymore, man. I don't have any of it because if you didn't know this, Greg, there's only one way to stop inflation long term. And there's only one way to pay off our crazy, crazy debt. And if you didn't know what it is, Greg, here it is. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.